As if things couldn't get any weirder, Russia is ready to supply the ballistic missile Oreshnik to Venezuela. Why? To protect themselves against the United States of America. I think we speak a lot about these things, and I think we don't grasp how important and dangerous things have become. Yes, Russia is ready to supply ballistic missiles to Venezuela to protect themselves. Look at the distance between Venezuela and the US. Not very far. Oreshnik is a long-range missile, very fast, basically unstoppable as per the Russians. Just you can imagine a country like Venezuela possessing missiles such as Oreshnik. What kind of danger it represents for the US? Alexei Zhuravlyov, who is the deputy chairman of the Parliamentary Defense Committee. Obviously, this is somebody very important in the Russian community. He is clearly getting orders coming from the Kremlin itself. I mean, saying that we are ready to provide missiles such as Oreshnik to Venezuela in the international scene cannot be said without an approval of the Kremlin. Absolutely not. So during an interview where he was asked on what sort of weapon Russia was sharing with Venezuela, Alexei Zhuravlyov said that Russia is already providing Venezuela with a wide range of weapons, light weapons, defense weapons. There's absolutely nothing that prevents Russia. There's no obstacle to supplying Venezuela with Oreshnik or caliber missiles. This is a very strong message. What kind of message is this? It's a message facing the United States of America. What do they want to say? I think it's very interesting. Well, it's very clear. But before we try to dive into that, let's find out what Oreshnik is all about. Oreshnik is an intermediate-range ballistic missile capable of reaching Mach 10 or 10 times the speed of sound. It can carry a conventional or nuclear warhead, claimed by Russia to be impossible to intercept. So as you can imagine, Oreshnik is very fast, 10 times the speed of sound, and can carry nuclear bombs, many of them. And on top of that, they say it is impossible to stop. Let me just remind you here that Venezuela is just 2,000 miles away from the US mainland. Oreshnik can reach that distance very fast, and that is extremely dangerous. Why? Because the United States of America has almost never faced a situation where they risked any physical danger on the mainland. This is probably going to be one of the very first time. Yes, in the past, in the 1960s, there was a situation with Cuba. The Cuba stands down when the Soviet Union sent missiles in Cuba, facing the United States of America, after the US sent missiles to Turkey and Germany, facing the Soviet Union. And at the time, it was a big stance down. The world was very close to a nuclear war. So what we're seeing right now is a very similar situation, but this time around with Venezuela. Look at the map, very close to the United States of America. Why is this happening? Well, the United States of America deployed a warship at the coast of Venezuela. Donald Trump trying to put maximum pressure on the Venezuelan president, hoping to move him in the direction that he likes. While the Venezuela, instead of bowing down to Trump's pressure, they turned to Russia, China, and Iran to get weapons and defensive support. And Russia has supplied many weapons, mostly defensive weapons. And this is going to be the first time Russia will supply Venezuela with offensive weapons. Now, let's try to find out, why would Russia do this? It's very simple. Russia's trying to send a very strong message. What message? Message to Donald Trump. Russia wants to say to Donald Trump, if you dare give Ukraine a long-range missile, this is exactly what's going to happen. You're not as safe as you think you are. Number two, we are very powerful. We are very well capable. So if you can come into our neighborhood and support mayhem, or at least not condemn it directly, we could do the same in your neighborhood. And we can make that very easy by supplying them with weapons that can reach you very quickly. Ukraine will receive additional US-made Patriot air defense systems from Germany. Ukraine has been pressing its Western backers for more long-range weapons, including the Tomahawk cruise missiles and additional Patriot battery. So Zelensky has been pushing for Patriot for defense. He's also pushing now for Tomahawks 4 offense long range. That's 1,800 kilometers of distance, which Donald Trump decided not to give away, trying to prevent any major fallout with Russia that will become very difficult to control. But while Trump refused to give Ukraine the Tomahawk missiles, the Germans gave Ukraine Patriot missiles. Patriot missiles are defense missiles, but Germany cannot provide Ukraine with American-made missiles without the US authorizing so. And also, it's very difficult to operate those missiles without the help of the conceptor or the creator, which is America. The message is very simple from Putin. Listen, if you play, we can play. If you want to be tough, we can be tougher. There's no way you can push us around. You certainly want to know what's wrong between Venezuela and America. There's a lot of things to say about that, but we're going to give you a very small portion. Trump is accusing Maduro of being a major trafficker of drugs in the United States of America. Now, even if it was really for drugs, okay, Venezuela is not a major producer of fentanyl. Mexico is. Venezuela is not a major producer of cocaine. Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia are. But Trump has not tried to attack them. But it's Venezuela. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin were supposed to meet in Hungary to have a discussion about Ukraine. What discussion? They were supposed to get an agreement on the ceasefire. The ceasefire basically means stop fighting with each other for a moment. It doesn't mean it's the end of the war. It means ceasefire. We're taking a pause. However, Vladimir Putin was not happy about that. He didn't like the idea of taking a ceasefire. Why? Because according to them, they are winning the war. Now, why would I take a ceasefire if I am winning the war progressively? There's no reason for me to do that. Why do they say that? Because they feel like if they took ceasefire, then it will enable Ukraine to regroup, to reprogress, to re-put themselves together, to restructure and come back stronger, maybe rearm. And Russia was pushing for dealing with the issue at the core of it before going into ceasefire. Basically, Russia wanted that the Western nation recognize that all conquered territories of Ukraine will be annexed to Russia as for now. And also that they will certify that Ukraine will never be part of NATO. However, Trump refused to adhere to those demands. He wanted Russia to agree with no condition. And that is when Trump walked away and Putin walked away. Shortly after that, Vladimir Putin began testing nuclear power missiles and submarines. And now they are announcing through Alexei Zhuryevlov that they would possibly issue the Oreshnik missiles to Venezuela. Now, if you didn't fear Venezuela, this is an opportunity for you to think again. Now, my question to you is this one. Do you think by giving Venezuela Oreshnik, that will make Donald Trump think twice before attacking? Or that will be a prompter for Donald Trump to actually get inside and destroy because the danger is now imminent? Do you think Vladimir Putin is making a big mistake or is a master strategist? God bless.